Welcome again to this webinar, Healing Voices Rainbow, the training today. And all I want to tell you now in the beginning is a little bit about the methods. Even I know that some of you already have the information, but maybe there's always something new for you also. And then I will of course talk about the structure of the training. And then we have questions and answers following that introduction. First of all, there are two focuses in this training. One is the shamanic healing part with Healing Voices Rainbow. And then a second input of the whole training course is also Symptom Constellations. The bigger part of the first one or two modules will be Healing Voices, and then Symptom Constellations goes with that also. So you have a basic education of Symptom Constellations even in the first module, but then it will Symptom Constellations will pick up more and more to the master module, and then we have a combination of both Healing Voices Rainbow played out in a symptom constellation or a family constellation. So I first talk about the shamanic part. And all we know about it, and all I know about those healing forces, which I call shamanic healing forces, is that they exist. They are just part of our universe. They are part of our world, really. They are everywhere, all the time, around us, in us, and they, for some reason, they cannot be effective by themselves all the time. So if they would, the world would be just another place, and all the traumata which we work with would not have happened. But so they need a certain frame where they can then be effective and start their healing work. And there are two basic columns of that frame. And the first one is a total agreement, a total yes of the client. So the client has to decide whether she or he wants that. And if the client says, yes, I open up for that, please, then this opens up the door. If that would not be the case, those healing forces will not be able to work, and they would not work, because they obviously respect free human will. Because this is the first thing. And the second thing, and I cannot really explain that to you, why, but those universal shamanic healing energies need a human being who is able and willing to be a channel for them, a medium for them. And then they can work and be effective on other humans to heal them. So this is an interesting point. That means that we humans are needed for our own healing. And the training is all about that all the participants, or you, if you decide to do this, develop your personality towards a situation where you will be able to really be like a pure, powerful medium for those healing voices, healing energies. And that's just one sentence, but this is all, this will be the most important input of the training to prepare you for that task, to be a pure channel for Healing Voices Rainbow healing energies. And this needs something from you. This is not just accomplished in a weekend or two workshops. This needs, this demands something from you, from the participants, because you have to decide, okay, I want to go on this path, and you will then see that all your maybe shadow areas in your energy field will be getting into your way to be a channel for healing voices, rainbow energies, in case they are not solved. So what one focus will be already in the first module of that training, to localize those shadow areas and heal them. And how we will do this with symptom constellations in combination with healing voices rainbow from the very beginning. And in those shadow areas, you might find some fear or some hidden aggression or some hesitation. And those shadow areas, we call them shadow areas because they are part of our unconscious. Every person has an unconscious realm. There is something, it's effective, it's maybe also strong, but you just don't know about it. And the systemic constellation work is one of the most powerful methods to bring light into those shadow areas and into the unconscious. So we will see what might be there. So we are not waiting for the symptom. We are proactively searching for those shadow areas in all participants of the training, and take care of that with the methods you will learn in the training. So you will see symptom constellations played out together with healing voices rainbow in many occasions with other participants, but also in several occasions also with your issues, with your shadow areas, to bring light there and make yourself pure for this task to be a medium for healing voices. And there's a second, besides the shadow areas, there's a second area which is important to talk about here. And this is the disruptive influences of the ego. The ego, I call that the literal human ego, and there are two aspects of that. This is supremacy or arrogance, which is the same. And on the other side of the coin, it is false modesty. So if you are arrogant, if you think you are standing above anybody or standing above on top of the world, dominating and being better as others, or being even better than the universe, or better than the world, or that you stand above Mother Earth, or you know what to do when you work with healing voices rainbow, then this is a blockage that blocks the healing energy. That means if you want to be a tool for healing voices, you have to give up all supremacy, all arrogance, because you connect with something which is much greater than you. So you really say yes to the fact that you are a part of a bigger whole. And the principle of unity, which I wrote a book about, and this is one of my great themes of the last decades, the principle of unity, which tells you that everything is always connected to everything. That means also that you are, and me of course also, everybody is connected to everything. And we are just a part of a greater whole. We do not dominate the world, we just not dominate healing energies. We are used and serve as tools. And this is, so it's needed that you transform the influence of the ego on that supremacy side. And this is done by insights, and this is also done by symptom constellations. And the other thing is of ego also, false modesty. It's just also part of the ego, but because if you are falsely modest and say, okay, I cannot do that, I'm too little, I'm too small, I don't know, I never would be able to do something like that, then this is a blockage towards this path. In case this path is really already in you, you feel a calling inside of you. The greater whole already put this ability, this potential in you, but you don't dare to use it because of false modesty. And this false modesty can be part of the ego, the little ego, which then feels supreme over the universe and says, oh, like you could have the power to push back all the talents which the universe already put in yourself, and you are born with that into this world, and you might feel a calling or even a wish to really go in that direction, but you don't dare. And one of the causes of false modesty is also unresolved trauma in family of origin or in a past life trauma, for example. And this is then also part of the shadow areas, and we will be able with symptom constellations, the healing voices rainbow, to heal also those parts in you. Then the next thing is what I want to talk is symptom constellations. We will, as already mentioned, we will also in the first module we will experience many symptom constellations. So you will get a basic training in symptom constellations in the first 2 years in the first module, and this will build up until the master module, of course. Symptom constellation is, well, the best way I know to really get into the real source, the real cause of any trouble. Whether you have a symptom, body symptom, or a mental symptom, whether you have a disease, whether you have a problem with your relationship, with your in business, with your children. And the center, because therefore I call that symptom constellations, the center of that is always the symptom. That means the appearance, what appears to you in your life as disturbing. And you want to change that. You want to get rid of that. And we put this always in the center and in the center of the symptom constellation. And then the next question is then always, where is the unresolved trauma in the background of that symptom? And there, believe me, there's in every case 100%, maybe no 99.5% at least, you find an unresolved trauma in the background of a symptom or a problem. And it's 60% or 65% you find it in the family of origin. Then another family member experienced that trauma or caused it. Or second area is present family, so your love partners and your children. And then third area is personal trauma. In this case, you experience that trauma in this life, childhood, youth, or later. And then there's a fourth area, and this is important because it's frequent, 30%. 30% of all my clients show that background. And this is also personal trauma, but not in this life, in a past life. And symptom constellations covers all of that. The classical family constellation covers family of origin and present family. And symptom constellation covers personal trauma in this life and past life trauma. And then it's just a normal constellation. We find out where the trauma is, then we bring all those positions of all the players and the people who were connected to the trauma, and then we find out how it's all connected. Truth heals. So there is already a healing effect in the constellation. You see that the participants or the representatives in the constellation tell you already there is some improvement. But many times this is not enough. And the reason is that knowing about it and having all those insights on the brain level is not changing the fact that the souls of the people who experienced the trauma in the past, that they are still maybe in the trauma freeze. So the feelings of those souls are not changed by you or the client knowing. And this is the field then when Healing Voices comes into play, when I suggest that we invite those healing voices, energies, to bring more healing to all those levels of the energy field of the client. And this makes a big difference if the souls are also of the souls of the victims, for example, or the little children who died early, for example, gets healing also. In the pilot weekend, we will do the same work. You will see how I teach that. You will see how that all works. We will do symptom constellations in combination with healing voices. We will do also small constellations with other participants to see whether there is already an invitation of Healing Voices Rainbow for the participants or for you if you're there. So, and this is not expensive. This is a low price, so you can just do this, and you don't have to decide about the training at this point. But if you do decide to be part of the first module, then you agree that you will be in this group for 2 years. And the first module is 2 years. And there are 4 workshops every year. That means workshops, full 3-day workshops. Every 3 months is a workshop. And so you have 8 workshops, 3 days each. And the focus of the first module is the work with Healing Voices Rainbow. So you will be able to work with Healing Voices Rainbow on an individual basis after these 2 years, and you will get already the certificate to be a Healing Voices Rainbow practitioner. That means you will be able to work with individual clients, and the client can lay on a couch or sit on a chair, and you invite Healing Voices Rainbow, and they get some healing from that. So this is the first module, and you don't have to go on with the other modules. This is already an education. This is already a training which you can then use. And if you go on for the second module, which is also 2 years, and it's also 8 workshops, 3-day workshops, then you will get more input on Healing Voices Rainbow. You get a better understanding and a better training in symptom constellations at the same time. And the aim of the second module is to do Healing Voices Rainbow not only for individuals, but also for groups. So you can have a group and work with a group simultaneously, and you can do this with a group in a room and in person, but you can also work with a group online. And I do this also, and this also works the same way. And then you are, I call the second module Healer module, and then you are a Healing Voices Rainbow Healer. And then the third module, if you want to go on, is the Master. And in the Master, the Symptom Constellation will be the focus. So you get into the depth, wisdom and knowledge, how to do a Symptom Constellation in detail, in combination, and this is the thing, in combination with Healing Voices Rainbow, because the combination is the powerful thing. And after the master workshop, master module, sorry, the master module is also 2 years, but it is a workshop, a 3-day workshop every second month. So there is more to come there. And then you are a Healing Voices Rainbow Master. It's a long time. It might seem to be a long time, but the time between the workshops is really important, and it's part of the training, because what you learn there, you will develop your personality in a way which you might not be anticipating now. And all this has to be integrated in your life, and it will integrate into your life, into your private life, into your professional life. So you will see what it means to know about those healing energies in your daily life. You will know what that means if there is a healed shadow area, and it's not shadow, there is light now there. So the world is different, becomes different from you, from every workshop to the other. And so there is a big, great growth to be expected of your personality and your ability to also use and serve those healing energies, and to become more and more trained in symptom constellations, and to be a master then at the end. If you decide to go on, you always can stop after each module. And there is, and you will see this in the workshop, there is another 4th module, which is only for the masters who then decide that they want more training to become a trainer, and to do supervision and train people, as I do now, so that there are more people in this world who are able to work with symptom constellations and Healing Voices Rainbow in a professional way. Okay, so that's my introduction now, and we will stop the recording now, and then we have place and space for questions and comments and sharings from you. I start in the symptom constellation. I start with 3 positions, always with 3 positions. One is, of course, the client. The second is the symptom or the problem. And then there is the third is always a message of the problem, a message of the symptom. Because those problems or symptoms or also diseases bring you messages. They want you to understand something about you. And I hear what the participants say, or if I do a single work, I have papers on the floor and I do the representative work myself. So I gather the information out of the three positions. And then the next question is, where is the unresolved trauma? In which area did it happen? And then I do the test. And the test looks like this. I do this in the outer circle of the constellation, and I don't really need a participant for that. I do that myself, because participants would have to learn that, how to do this. So I define all those 4 areas, and I start with the family of origin. And I say, okay, this in front of me, in the constellation, this position in front of me is the family of origin of the client. And so this is not a person, it is everybody. It is a pool. Father, mother, all the ancestors concentrated in one position, and then I step into this position as a representative. And then the question is not do I feel something, some sad or aggressive energies of the family. The question is only, and this is important to define that for yourself if you do this, the question is only, is there a connection of some sort of the family of origin of this position towards the problem or the symptom or the disease. And if in my case, it's always if the right arm goes out, and it's just this is body feeling, then the right arm goes out, and then it is the father's side. And when the left arm goes out towards the problem or the symptom, it is mother's side. And if both arms go out, sometimes that's also could also be, then you know it's father and mother's side, and then you know there are two unresolved trauma, and then you have a lot of work to do because you have two trauma. And then in the other positions, like the second would be, and I always choose just another place in the outer circle of the constellation. Second is present family, all your love partners, important love partners, and all your children, all the children of the clients. The living and the dead, also the aborted or miscarriage, are part of that. So the trauma could also happen to those one of those persons. So this is the second area, present family. And the third is, and the same thing, I just go to another place, define, okay, this is in front of me, this is now a personal trauma of the client in this life, childhood, youth, or later, which might be connected to the problem or the symptom. This is the definition. It is a pretty narrow definition. I always say that also to the client, so the client understands this is now personal trauma in his or her life, in this life, childhood, youth, or later, which might be connected to the trauma, to the symptom or the disease. And if there is, then the question is only, is there a connection or not? Sometimes, if there is a connection, you know, okay, there is unresolved trauma, maybe in childhood. And then I do the fourth column, and this is past life. So this the definition of this position is a past life of the client, which might have a connection to the symptom or the disease. So this is as constellators, you know that this is very important to make a good and accurate definition of every position you use in a constellation. This is also true for the 4-column test. And if there's a connection from a past life, I know it's past life trauma. And this takes, after a while, you have to get some exercise in that. This, of course, will be also trained in the training extensively in the beginning, because this is an important part for every symptom constellation. It normally takes me only 3 minutes. If you're experienced in that, it does not take long. And then you know where it is. Where it happened, and then of course if it's family of origin, then you start the interview about about the family of origin, or if it's personal trauma in childhood, then you make a list with the client of traumata which might be which the client remembers, or in past life trauma. Interview does not help because nobody knows, and then you do a past life constellation. The short answer is it's always different. The longer answer is sometimes I have the feeling I know some melodies of which are coming. But they are, as you know already, Matthew, and everybody should know that following the sounds of Healing Voices session as a medium is you follow that every second, every millisecond, and it's coming right through you. And sometimes I hear the next sound, sometimes I don't, but it's still there. And then sometimes there are melodies which I already heard in some songs, but you don't judge it. You know, if there is, sometimes there was one like a Christmas melody, And I thought myself, what is this? What might the client now say? If I do some Christmas melody in a healing session, but you don't alter it, you don't judge it. And so sometimes I have now, I did it so long, so often I have the feeling, okay, this is like a basic melody which comes through a healer or a female healer through for a long time, but it's always then maybe similar, but then the next time it's totally different. So the ability to be a channel for healing voices means that you are following it every second. And if it's similar, like you already experienced, that's okay, but it could be also different. So don't redo anything and don't expect it to be the same. Yeah, well, that's my answer to that. Here, the short answer is also, it never ends. Right. As life never ends. It is, but your life develops. You know now more compared to the time when you were 10 or 20 years of age. There is a development in life, and but that does not mean that you reached the end of knowledge or the end of being. There is always more to learn. There is always more to come, and what you should learn, or maybe the tasks which are waiting for you to use your talents, need more capacity as you might feel now, and that means, okay, this is the point where you say, okay, where is the next step? Where is the next thing? And then you can, with the symptom constellation, you can find that, and you can also test whether this is the right thing for you to do. And but to expect that that life is done before it's done, it's never done. Even in the moment when we will die, and everybody here will die, is not the end. It is. I think this is what all the constellation work tells us. If we work with the souls of the deceased, they are still existing. Otherwise, we would never see any emotion of those souls. So it is ongoing, and with past lives experience, you also this tells you that this life might not be the last one. So it is. To expect its ending, it's just not ending. But that does not mean that this is bad. What do you do if it ends? So you're done with everything. Nothing is. So it is just ongoing learning. It's ongoing flourishing. It's ongoing growing. And as a little tree, the little tree would not maybe know how that is to be a huge giant tree, and who would like maybe what kind of animals would be there. It's just not knowing that, and we are as human beings. This is just a picture. We are also not knowing. We don't know how life feels after we grow more and more. It's more consciousness. It's more being, and the greatest the greatest accomplishment in growing in my understanding is and knowing and agreeing to the fact that we are connected to everything and that we are just a part of a greater whole. But that does not mean that we are nothing, that we are unimportant. As this part of the greater whole, we are important, but just as important as we are, not more than we maybe we want to be more important. But if you think we are less important, we have another problem, the same problem from the other side. So being as important as we are, being a part of the greater whole, and agreeing to that, liberates us to be really ourselves. And this life is bringing us towards, step by step, to that agreement, to that knowledge. And this is also not an end. There is a growing or expansion of your consciousness of that, possible more and more. And that is no end there too. And it's great. I think it's great and relaxing to understand that it's all good. We are all part of a good world. If we agree for that. And then there is something to do for every one of us. And to also be. There is so much being in us. We come to the part where I invite Healing Voices Rainbow for the whole group, for everyone who is in the group now, and for everybody who is seeing the recording on YouTube later. And all you can know about it is that the Healing Voices Rainbow energies are part of our world. They are around us, and I will invite them to heal in your energy field if they want and if they come, if they want and if they can. I always say that, so we cannot push them to do this. We will just do a humble invitation. And you will not hear the invitation. I do that within me. You will just hear maybe a few seconds of silence. And then you will hear some sounds. And they don't judge whatever you hear. You just let this be effective on your body or your soul, if you want. And all the feelings you want that want to come during the healing, let it just flow. It could also be that you have some like pictures coming in front of your eyes, or movie scenes, like a fantasy journey. This could also happen. It's okay, whatever they show, let them come and go. You can have your eyes open during that, or you can also close your eyes. Whatever you want to do, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Okay, so let's start now. Manche mache ich aber ja. Slowly come back to this room, to us.